Hello and welcome to another episode of the India Blues podcast. Here we'll cover everything related to Chelsea FC. And I'm with Ranveer as usual. And we're going to talk about our
Latest
preseason
game
tour again.
against Newcastle.
Yeah,
So we'll
yeah,
start off with that. Good game against a European side, if I may say. And the
yeah,
goals had to dry up at some point or the other, but overall, I felt we had a positive start to the game. One big positive that emerges from this game once again is Nicholas Jackson. And he's just played, I think, 45 minutes of including of all the three games that we've had so far. And
mm,
he's got 2 goals, 3 assists, and the composure with which he finishes and the confidence he shows. It's a treat to watch as a fan after a
yeah.
long
I
time.
mean, it's been ages since I've seen a striker hold up the ball, pass it, link up with
Yeah,
other attackers, and finish coolly. Like we've had people doing one or the other, but we've not had a striker who's done everything. Like uh, him holding up the ball near the corner flag and then dribbling past
yeah.
two players and trying to do step overs in the middle of the penalty box. It was amazing. It was beautiful. And yeah, I mean, Jackson has got to be the highlight of the preseason tour, and I hope it keeps continuing. I don't think we should be offering him the number 9 jersey though,
Burn it,
just in case.
burn it.
I don't think
And
anyone deserves to wear the number 9 jersey at Chelsea.
yeah, Mudrik also seems to be gaining confidence with every minute he plays. Looks better on the
Yeah,
ball. He's more assertive. He's got his
yeah,
decision making has improved a lot this time. Matson also, he played out of position last game on the right, and he
yeah,
was occasionally moving into the number 10 role, and it looked
yeah,
really good. He looks like a player who
yeah,
can play in multiple positions, and that will
yeah.
be a big bonus for Pochettino.
I mean, I think it's time that players start getting a chance. I mean, if there was ever a season where these players could get a chance in the Chelsea starting level, I think this is it. And if there was ever a manager who could get the best out of them, especially Mudrik, I think Pochettino is the man to trust. He's capable of getting the best out of those young players.
Yeah, he did a great job at Spurs with Dele Alli, so hopefully he can do the
Yeah,
same with Mudrik. Moving on to a few negatives of the game, and I think the same names come up throughout the preseason.
yeah,
Kepa didn't have a great game.
yeah.
Uh, I thought his ball distribution was pretty average.
Mm.
And even Kukurea, the goal that we conceded, I think he could have done a better job. And
Yeah,
even Sterling, when he came on, I mean, Chelsea look a completely different side once we have Jackson out of
yeah,
the team. And
yeah,
Sterling does not, given the fact that he's the most experienced player that we have in the
yeah.
attacking front, I don't think he brings in that experience or that confidence in the attack.
Yeah, I think it's time for Al Hilal to start bidding for Sterling. And Kepa, with Kepa at the back, I think it's really hard to start playing out from the back.
Yeah,
Uh, it's going to be really difficult because we can't trust the the central figure between the posts, and especially with Kukurea defending the way he is. I mean, it was a baffling piece of defending, wasn't it? Like he went for the ball but didn't go for the ball, and
yeah,
then he completely got stranded in the middle of the pitch when it wasn't even a difficult situation to
yeah.
cope with. He just had to stick with his man, and I don't think they would have gotten a chance to score there.
It's lack
Yeah,
of
so
decision making. He has to be more confident in his decision making, and all the good defenders have that.
and so Brighton definitely fleeced us with
Oh,
his transfer, the amount we paid for Kukurea, and he's just not improving. And if Matson leaves and Kukurea stays in the team, I think that would be a damning outcome. I don't
yeah,
understand who's making the decisions if that is what uh, ends up happening after this preseason too. And speaking of Brighton, we still have one major transfer that's not going through.
Same
So
story
we've had,
every day.
we've had a fourth bid for 80 million rejected on the spot immediately. So apparently we are going in for a fifth and final bid. Let's see if we increase. Maybe, I don't know. I don't see us paying 100 million for Caicedo. We spent so much time looking for this player, and
Yeah.
if we don't end up not getting him, I mean that's going to be pretty devastating for us as well. I think we need to strengthen it. I mean, it's obvious that we need strength in midfield, especially with Conor Gallagher potentially leaving. So
Yeah.
I
I
think,
mean, the thing is,
yeah,
if, in the worst case scenario, if we do not get him, do we have a backup? Do we have another transfer that we are looking towards? Because I think we spent all our resources and energy and time on, and it's going to be a real setback if we don't get him right now. And if you ask
yeah,
me personally, I'd say just pay the 100 million, shut Brighton up, throw the money at their face, and just
yeah,
bring him because he wants to come.
yeah. And if he does want to come, he should make more of a, he should put up more of a show, and I think he should put up more of a fight as well. Probably hand in a transfer request. I don't know, make it happen, like make things easy for you. We're bidding, we're
Yeah,
sending in bid after bid, and we know you want to come. But if you're just going to be sitting there hoping that this gets resolved with a club who's obviously not willing to negotiate fairly.
yeah,
I mean, they're willingly strong arming Chelsea, knowing that we're desperate for him. But I think Brighton, at the end of the day, also need that money
yeah,
to probably invest in something else. Because let's face it, Caicedo's maybe going to stay another 6 months, even if he does end up staying this transfer window. I think someone's going to come swoop in January. I think someone's going to come swoop in next summer. Like what's happening then?
yeah,
I don't think anyone's paying more than what we are currently
yeah,
looking to
yeah.
pay for
That's true.
Caicedo. Yeah,
I do hope we get him, and I do hope we don't overpay for him. I feel a bid around 80 or 90 million would be ideal, but
yeah,
I wouldn't pay above 100 million for him.
yeah. I
That's what
mean,
I feel.
it's a travesty. These prices are insane. I mean, even for a really great player. I mean, to put that into perspective, we got Conte for close to 32 million.
Yeah,
No. So another update came directly from Pochettino's press conference. He basically implied that we do need strengthening in some areas of the pitch, but he also said
yeah,
that we should ideally have only 23 to 24 players in the squad.
yeah.
What have you got to say
I'm
about that?
I mean, I don't remember a season when we last had less than 30 players in a squad. So, and
Yeah,
some, we do have dead weight. Like we do have Lukaku and Ziyech and Hudson-Odoi still in the team. But
yeah,
he's right about the fact that we don't need more than 24 to 26, but it would take some really drastic measures to cut down a
yeah,
38-member squad to a 26-member squad.
yeah,
And I also feel it's okay since we're not playing Europe this season. But next
yeah.
season, if we do play Europe, I do feel 30-man squad is required. Maybe that's because I've been seeing Chelsea play with 42 team member squads, and I'm not really used to this kind of small team.
We have a significantly, we'll be playing significantly lesser number of games this season
Yeah,
because of the lack of Europe. So that way, I think the small squad can pull us through. But I don't see us getting it down to that number in this transfer window. Maybe in January, maybe next summer, we'll have all the candidates who are willing to leave out by then. I think overall it feels good to have this huge overhaul of the entire squad. Players like Bakayoko had been, on our loan list forever and ever,
yeah,
and I mean, just uh, terminating the contract was the best thing to do. It's like we got him back every season, loaned him out, and we did this with a number of players.
yeah,
And I think
yeah,
this needed to be done at some point. But more importantly, what I'd be concerned with is, if we do get these players out and if we don't sign new players who strengthen the squad, especially in areas that we're severely lacking, like a goalkeeper and someone in midfield to replace Conte or to pair up with Enzo. I think these two signings have to be made.
Yeah.
The outgoings can keep happening, but without these two new signings, I think we are looking at another possibly mediocre season, even with all the improvement that Pochettino has already brought to the squad.
Yeah, the areas you mentioned, goalkeeping and midfield, I mean, there we see if Kepa gets injured, we don't have an experienced backup keeper. And even
Yeah,
in our midfield, Gallagher is the most experienced player that we have.
yeah,
So we really do need to step up. And with preseason almost coming to an end, the time to buy players is now, or else they won't even get a time to gel
yeah,
with the squad, and they'll have to be
absolutely.
thrown into the Premier League directly,
Yeah.
and that may have an effect on their initial confidence and form.
I mean, it has happened before where players have joined, clubs towards the end on deadline day.
Yeah,
Torres joined on deadline
but
day, but
Torres
yeah,
isn't the best example of a successful transfer, is he?
yeah, yeah. Hopefully, no one wears the number 9 jersey for Chelsea this
Yeah,
season, and hopefully, we get a couple more new signings.
yeah.
And that's all we got for today. We'll catch you on the next episode of